You're watching the Rotoscopers YouTube.
I'm Morgan Stradling.
And I'm Chelsea Robson. Today we're going to be doing our question and answer response. So we got a whole bunch of questions in here and we are going to do our very best to be able to respond to them.
So 916 Chris says, Ducktales, greatest cartoon series ever? I love Ducktales. I don't know if it's the greatest ever, but it's definitely up there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Disney Afternoon had tons of awesome hits.
Yes.
Goof Troop,
yes.
Darkwing Duck, DuckTales, Tailspin.
Tailspin,
right?
yes.
So, I mean, Disney was on their A game, and I think this is one of the best. The movies, I remember having little videos and watching them when I was younger, and, you know, there's only like 2 episodes on a VHS tape.
Yeah.
So, it is really good. They should definitely make like a reboot series. I'd be all for that. So,
yeah.
Maybe not the best, but one of the best. One of the best Disney ones.
Definitely
for sure.
in the era of best.
Yeah.
It was great. I think we should do a podcast on that movie though.
That'd be awesome.
So yeah, so someday we're gonna be doing that. So head on over to our iTunes, subscribe there, or through Stitcher, you can subscribe there as well, or even just our RSS feed on www.therotoscopers.com. It's gonna be a great one. You can join in the conversation there as well.
Okay, Winter Wonder 99 says, who is your favorite villain and why?
For me, definitely Maleficent. Why? Because she is the mistress of all evil.
I love Maleficent too. I think she's conniving, she's evil. I mean, she's not comedic in any way, which kind of like takes away from some of these villains' villainy, I guess you would say. But on top of that, Yzma is really awesome. She's the over-the-top comedic villain from Emperor's New Groove. Just her eyelashes and the broccoli stuck in the teeth. It's great. I mean, she's a really, really good villain, and voiced by Eartha Kitt.
Yeah,
who's way awesome.
Amazing voice.
And then, I don't know, on that line, Ursula, because she also is over the top and so dramatic and body language.
Well, if you're gonna say two, I'm gonna have to say two as well and say that Gaston.
Ooh, he's
just gonna say he's a great villain. Like, yeah.
You love to hate him.
You do, and it's so easy to do.
You hate to love him.
Our next question comes from Rosefire. If you could have a mashup or crossover of your favorite animated characters coming together, who would you pick? Alright, this was actually a hard question for me because I was thinking there are so many really cool characters that I would love to see kind of join together. But I think what I came up with was the Fates from Hercules and Buzz and Woody. But it would be Spanish Buzz. Why? Because Spanish Buzz is awesome. And Woody, because I think he would go really well with the Fates. I think their like comedic timing together would be really hilarious.
Interesting. So I don't know if this is necessarily like a mashup or a crossover, but all the Disney princes and princesses in high school.
Ooh.
Yeah, like modern day high school. So
oh
they'd have like their more modern day outfits, and there's pictures where people have like done concept art like that.
Yeah.
You know, I just imagine like Prince Philip would be a stud.
He would.
Like he would probably be the top of the jocks and like the cool guy, and yeah, and then you know there's Rapunzel, who she's kind of awkward, maybe not the most popular of the princesses, and yeah, Jasmine and Ariel, and there could be some really, really good stuff going on there.
Yeah, there'd be a lot of drama in that high school. Our next question comes from Tall Kevin 01. And he says, what are your thoughts of the state of Western animation? It has been kept inside this kid-friendly box for over 40 years, with little change. What changes would you make to grow the industry to where it is more appealing to more age groups?
So I think the first thing is they kind of confuse animated films with animated cartoons. I think animated cartoons always will, for the most part, be strictly kids. Because I remember I kind of phased out of cartoons as I started entering high school and watch a few here and there, but it wasn't like I came home and loved to watch cartoons like I did when I was little. So, you know, the Saturday morning cartoon hour was really awesome. So what I think, you know, you have to separate those two. And I think, you know, Miyazaki films have done a really good job about this because I mean, this isn't American, it's definitely Japanese, but they're not, cartoons and animated films aren't seen as for kids. They kind of have these older themes that kids just don't really relate to. And I think that's the problem, because if you can make it very appealing to families and younger kids and adults, then you make a lot more money. And if you're gonna do a more adult-centric film, it's not gonna do as well. Like, I think Hunchback of Notre Dame, which is an incredible film, and, you know, very artistic, very cinematic, but it it's hard for the kids to get into that one, I guess. I liked it because I just liked anything Disney put out, you know, but it's a bit more older. And I think that the up-and-coming filmmakers, you know, you would need to be sort of independently backed or find some sort of different person to fund you, so that way these new artists could create like adult only, not necessarily adult only, but just more mature films and themes, and yeah, probably stay away from the fairy tales, I would.
Yeah, probably. You know, actually, I'm a big believer that it is not about the medium, but the quality of the story that really brings in the audiences. And so a lot of times you're gonna get all of those movies that are centered to the kids are normally less quality storylines, and so they're not going to be, you know, something that everybody is going to be able to relate to, but maybe just the little kids on Princess Fairy Time, you know, tea party. That's basically what it's going to be gearing to. I like to think of how Wreck-It Ralph was so successful, though. I mean, what they did is they took two extremes. They took little kids, and then they also took the gamers. And they made it, you know, the two sides of the spectrum. Instead of trying to get the average person, what the average person wants, they wanted to get, okay, what is our extreme? So, for example, they have the little kids, and then they have the gamers, which, you know, tend to be a little bit more highbrowed, a little bit more elitist, and like thinking much deeper into a lot of different things. Because they were able to make it work for both of those groups, I think everybody else was able to entertain themselves with it as well. So.
Movie Manx 01 says, when will Disney go back to hand-drawn animation? I would like to see more of it.